Today I'm going to show you how to make my easy French bread.
This recipe uses instant yeast, which means it doesn't need an activation time. However, feel free to use active dry yeast as a 1-to-1 replacement. Just make sure to mix it with the honey and the warm water, making sure to keep the water between 108 and 112 degrees Fahrenheit, and let this mixture sit for 5 minutes. After mixing the yeast, water, and honey, add in the flour. This French bread uses both bread and all-purpose flour. Using the mixture of flours allows for the bread to have a higher protein content from the bread flour, resulting in a chewier crumb, and blended with a lower protein content from the all-purpose flour, you'll get a slightly softer interior. Now, this French bread recipe is an American-style version, which means the resulting loaf is wider and a bit softer than traditional baguettes. With that being said, this recipe does use olive oil, which helps achieve a slightly softer crust. I love using this French bread for sandwiches, garlic bread, or even French toast.
Now we let the dough rest for 10 minutes before kneading for an additional 2 minutes. The reason we do this is to allow the flour to fully hydrate, which helps to improve both the flavor and the texture of the bread. So go ahead, grab a snack, and I'll see you back here in 10 minutes. And we're back. All right, let's finish kneading the bread 2 more minutes.
After letting the dough knead a couple more minutes, we'll add the dough to a lightly greased bowl. The dough should be soft but maintain a dough ball shape. You may notice during more humid summer months, you may need a touch more flour than during the less humid winter months. Spray the top of the dough with nonstick spray, then cover it and allow it to rise. I like to place my covered dough in an oven that has been warmed to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. This provides a nice warm environment for the dough to rise. Just turn your oven on, and once it reaches 100 degrees Fahrenheit, turn the oven off. Allow the dough to rise in the warm oven for 30 minutes or 45 minutes at room temperature. After rising, turn the dough out onto a lightly greased surface. You don't want to use flour because you will be rolling the dough into a log and you want the dough to stick together. The flour would prevent this from happening. Gently stretch or pat the dough into a 9 by 13 inch rectangle. Starting at the long end, roll the dough into a cylinder, pinching the seams together and tucking the ends underneath. Place the bread onto a parchment paper lined baking sheet. Next, you'll use either a bread lame or a very sharp knife to cut 6 slits in the bread. Then you'll cover the bread with plastic wrap and allow it to rise one last time for either 20 minutes in a warm oven or 30 minutes at room temperature. Before baking, you want to brush the top and the sides of the bread with a beaten egg. This gives the crust a beautiful golden color. You'll bake the bread in a 375 degree Fahrenheit oven. Place the bread in the oven, then place a few ice cubes in a small baking pan directly below the bread. The ice cubes help create a crispy crust. You'll bake the bread for 20 to 25 minutes, and that's it. Making homemade bread is truly one of my favorite things to make, and I hope that you enjoy it too.